When we look at a complex organism like the African clawed frog, we tend to assume its DNA contains a micromanaging blueprint for this exact final shape. This assumption encourages us to view individual cells as passive bricks, inert units that only exist to follow top-down genetic instructions. But we can test the strength of that genetic blueprint by removing those biological bricks from their standard body plan entirely. If DNA truly functioned as a rigid architectural map, these isolated cells would lose their purpose and simply sit still or die. Instead of dying, these cells immediately begin to move, coordinate, and form entirely new autonomous shapes. This is a xenobot, a living machine built from unaltered frog cells that have reorganized into a new multicellular pattern. These constructs require no genetic modification or synthetic engineering to achieve this state. Stripping away the normal anatomical context reveals that cells carry latent motion capabilities that are usually directed toward building a frog embryo. Every biological form emerges through this context-sensitive motion, where the final result depends as much on the environment as it does on the genome. These blobs of cells manage to navigate the world without a brain or nervous system by relying on the physics of their own scale. They move using cilia, the same tiny hair-like structures that perform routine janitorial work in adult tissues. At a low Reynolds number, water provides immense viscous resistance, behaving like thick syrup. Symmetrical flapping provides no propulsion here. To move, cilia must synchronize an asymmetrical rhythm, a distinct power stroke followed by a recovery stroke. This synchronized rhythm overcomes the environmental friction, allowing locomotion to emerge from the collective action of the cells alone. For these living bots, body geometry acts as the control software, dictating how the collective moves. A round shape may simply spin, while a C-shaped structure functions like a microscopic snowplow. This geometry enables kinematic replication. As the C-shaped bot moves, its physical form gathers loose cells in the environment into dense piles. Once a pile reaches a high enough density, the cells adhere to one another and organize into a brand new, moving xenobot. In this system, reproduction occurs through physical rearrangement. The parent's motion shapes the environment until new material crosses the threshold into a body. These same self-organizing dynamics exist within adult human tissue, specifically the cells lining the trachea. In the airway, these cells stay organized in a flat line, using their cilia to sweep mucus toward the throat. When grown under new geometric constraints in the lab, these adult cells self-assemble into outward-facing spheres called anthrobots. This new spatial boundary instantly repurposes the cell's internal tools, turning airway cleaning rhythm into whole-body propulsion. Adult human cells retain the capacity to build entirely new bodies whenever we rewrite the constraints of their environment. We can ground these cellular behaviors in practical medical models, such as the neuron wound experiment. Researchers applied clusters of anthrobots to a lab-grown layer of neurons that had been physically scratched to create a gap. The presence of the moving anthrobots encouraged the severed neurons to grow outward and bridge that artificial gap. Determining the exact mechanism, whether it involves chemical signals, physical contact, or the fluid motion created by the cilia, remains an active area of research. This points toward a future where we deploy temporary, biodegradable bodies made from a patient's own cells to perform specific repair tasks inside the human body. These discoveries suggest that cells treat the genome as a library of rules for navigating physical and chemical signals. The resulting biological body is an attractor state, a stable configuration reached through cellular negotiation. A frog, a xenobot, and an anthrobot represent different stable outcomes achieved by the same biological toolkit under different boundary conditions. By placing cells in these new environments, we see that the standard anatomy we observe in nature is only one of many possible forms cells are capable of building. Life explores a vast space of possible configurations, using structured motion to reveal new biological bodies whenever its physical constraints change.